Hello, hello, hello. This is Onscreen Offscreen. Just me today. I'm Josh. Conlon's not feeling well, so he's not going to be joining us. So it should be a short episode for anybody who's listening. Or for those who are watching, I'm dealing with a broken headset this week. I have ordered my replacement, so hopefully that gets fixed soon, but everything else is working. So, uh, everything else, with nothing else to really, no announcements or anything. Um, just gonna get started. So my first thing is still continuing to play Battle for Polytopia. I am very much enjoying it. I'm enjoying all the different classes and stuff. I've been playing with Lord Savaroth. Check him out on YouTube or Twitch. He's really great. He's a good person. Love his channel. It's just a great time. Next topic for me is F1. It was the final race of the season on Sunday, and it was a great race. Not a great weekend, but a great race. All of my drivers, my preferred drivers, Lewis Hamilton, Charles Leclerc, and Lando, all had fantastic races. Leclerc took 11 positions on the first lap of the race. Was awesome. Love to see it. It was cool. And Lando won the race. Lewis Hamilton, final race of the season, final race with Mercedes, most likely, and he came in and overtook his teammate George Russell with 5 turns to go on the final lap when George Russell started P3, I think. So, Lewis started much further back at like P16. So it was a great race to watch. So much cool, so great, so cool. But it does bring the Formula One season to an end. So probably won't be hearing too much about it from me until March when Formula One starts up again. I would call this season a great season. Best full season I've ever watched. First race I ever watched was Abu Dhabi 2021 with Lewis and Max and all that chaos. But yeah, so it was a great season. If I were to give this season kind of like a tagline, I would call it the storybook season. Because what you had was Lewis winning at his home Grand Prix in Great Britain after a 3-year drought. Leclerc winning his home races in Monaco and Monza. You have Lando winning his first 4 races, and that's been a long time coming. Sainz having a great run in his final season with Ferrari. Max finally getting penalized for his dirty driving. Awesome. Love to see it. It's great. McLaren, Constructors champions after 26 years. Piastri is the 4th driver in Formula One history to complete every lap in a season. Love to see it. Very excited to see what McLaren is going to look like next year because Piastri's not going to back down, and I think Lando's the better driver. So we're going to see. Everything is really looking great for next season. You've got GM Cadillac joining the Formula One grid, Andretti being a key person in that team. I would think it would be so funny to me if GM Cadillac races one year under the name GM Cadillac and then sells their part of their team to Andretti Motorsport, because that was the big objection before. That to me would just be funny, but I don't think it actually will make a difference. They're gonna have a rough time of it when they start, just like every new team, and we're gonna see. They're gonna have an American driver for sure. They've got 3 options. We're hearing that Bottas or Checo might be taking that second seat. It's not who I would pick if I were them. Neither of those two drivers have shown that they are willing to put in the extra effort. So they both kind of sucked. Bottas not a single point all season. Even his teammate Zhou got some points, and just haven't been impressed with him at Sauber. It looks like he's kind of been phoning it in, to me at least. And Checo just is not a good driver. Like, he's had some great performances, but nothing in the last 3 years. The last great thing I saw Checo do was play defense to Lewis Hamilton in the 2021 finale. Like, so yeah, I love to see the competition. I love that it's getting more and more challenging. Got one more year until Audi fully enters under the Audi badge. I'm very excited for that. I am an Audi fan. I have owned mostly Audis in my life, and they're great. And I'm just very excited for it. Lewis, let's talk about him a little bit. So he had his farewell in his last race with the Mercedes team after a long time. 14 years, 7 World Drivers' Championships, 8 Constructors' Championships. The team put out a phenomenal farewell video that was really great. They put Lewis in some of his highlight vehicles with Mercedes. He got to drive his old F1 cars again. It was very, very cool to see. But the tagline that they associated with Lewis is every dream needs a team. And at first I really didn't think much about it, but it caused some controversy, and it caused me to think a little bit more about it, and here's why I don't like it. It feels like they're trying to take away from what Lewis has done for the team and say, hey, we gave you the foundation that you did this on, which is true, but Lewis is always the person, and he's very famous for always thanking his mechanics and his teammates and everybody around him at every moment and giving them all the credit and being the stand-up guy that I like rooting for. And this is the time when you're supposed to show appreciation to just him for what he contributed. And so it was suggested, I found this online, that they should have said every team needs a hero. Because he is part of a team, but Lewis has been their hero, their standout guy. You know, they're all invested in for a while, and that just says it so much better. Like, why would you not say that? Why would you not just say thanks, Lewis? He did so much for that team, and he has never, I have personally never heard him try and take credit away from his mechanics or engineers or anybody on the team. He's always very appreciative. He always thanks them first. And you can't thank him first in his final race with you guys. Still very much appreciate what the team did for him. Like I said, that video was great. Bono, his personal engineer, giving him it's hammer time over the radio one last time. Seeing him do donuts in his Mercedes for the final time. His team principal, his comments he made about Lewis, about wanting Lewis to succeed, saying that if Mercedes isn't going to win, he hopes Lewis wins. All great things. You know, it's not a big loss for Mercedes in that sense, but it is a big loss to lose Lewis, and it is a big loss to try and say he did it because of the team, not he did it with the team. Those are just my thoughts on that. I'm very excited to see Mercedes next year. I don't like George Russell. There's been a lot of controversy between him and Max Verstappen coming up here at the end of the year, and I don't like Max. I think he's an a-hole. I think he's got a lot of growing to do and a lot of maturing to have, and I don't like his driving style. But he is straightforward, and so you have to give him that. He is what he is, and he doesn't apologize for it. And so him saying that George is kind of a two-faced person, I believe it. George has always been kind of robotic, and I've never really loved George. I think they should have stuck it out with Bottas, but I mean, it is what it is. So now George is, they're causing that drama. It's going to be great for Netflix. I'm very excited for Drive to Survive, but I am liking Kimi Antonelli. Everything I've been seeing from him is very promising. I think he's going to be a great driver. I really hope he puts George in his place, because I would love that. It would make me root for Mercedes still. But I'm not a Mercedes fan. I am a Lewis Hamilton fan, a Charles Leclerc fan, and a Lando Norris fan third. So, at least for now. As things might be changing up here pretty soon, because my first car was an Audi, my second car was a Camaro. So with GM entering Formula One, when Audi sticks their badge on the car, if they both give me drivers to root for, it's gonna be an exciting time for me where I'll get to root for half the grid. And who knows how long Lewis is going to stay in. Aston Martin, Adrian Newey, that's going to throw a wrench into things. Do I think he's this aerodynamics god who's going to fix all of their problems? No, because Lance Stroll is still driving half of their cars. But is he going to amplify and bring up Aston Martin as a team? Absolutely. It would be crazy not to think that. There's just so much going on in the sport right now. Very exciting. A lot of drama, a lot of intrigue, a lot of everything. Very, very excited to see 2025. Hope it keeps up. 2026, new engine regulations. New regulations always throw a wrench into things and always mix things up. So, yeah, let's keep it up, Formula One. Very excited for next season. Very, very excited. My next topic, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. New Indiana Jones game. Was watching a video that Conlon had sent me talking about how this guy is not experiencing performance issues. I did not have that experience. I very much had performance issues. For like the first 4 times getting into the game and getting into an area, makes me think it's doing that thing where they're trying to preload all the shaders. And then once you get into the game, after the shaders have been loaded, then it runs fine. That has been my experience. But I would go from like 100 FPS down to like 10, and even had the game crash on me twice. And then when it crashed on me, it had to reload all of those shaders. That's what I think is happening anyway. But I also haven't had any performance problems in a while. I am nearly done with the game. I am in the final area, just got there. So let's talk about some of these things. Voice actor who does Indiana Jones, fantastic job. I was going to ask if it was Harrison Ford himself, because it's so great. I actually found out through the video that Conlon had sent me that it was an actual actor. And great job. Phenomenal job. Visuals. What a beautiful game. Beautiful, beautiful game. Everywhere you look, it's just astoundingly gorgeous. It's not the most beautiful game of all time to me, but it does do a great job with it, and I'm very, very impressed. The character models are very hit and miss for me. The character model for Indiana Jones is flawless. Oh my gosh, might as well be a movie with how well they modeled his face, especially in the scenes, the cut scenes where they give a close up on his face. They do a fantastic job. What a great job that they did. Some of the other character models I haven't been as impressed with. The native guy who's going into the cave with Indiana Jones at the very beginning of the game, I think felt a little off to me. My other negative note to this game is it does the thing in this game that drives me crazy in these kinds of games. And I'm going to use Indiana Jones as the example because that's the one I'm playing, but you can apply this issue to any game like this, the Uncharted games, for example. And it is, you have your main character, Indiana Jones, and he is solving puzzles and trying to get the idol or whatever it is he's trying to get, and XYZ whatever, right? So he's doing his thing. You're going through all this effort. In real life, it takes hours, right? So you're solving all these puzzles, and you finally get in, and then you find out that the Nazis are already in there, and you have the sneaking part where you have to sneak around them and blah, 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 whatever. I hate that. And the reason I hate that is because why the heck did I just go through all that effort if I could have just went in the way the Nazis went in? Why did I have to go solve all these puzzles? Why did I have to do these things? It just feels exhausting and kind of pointless if there was obviously another way into this dungeon or this cave or whatever. And I know they're trying to mix it up and give you some different stuff to have to do. And the game also does the good way where they kind of just follow you in after, but that could be played out and overdone with this kind of game as well. So I know they're trying to mix it up. I appreciate that they're not just doing copy paste with everything, but the puzzles are pretty easy. They just stick a lot of them in your way, and then you find out, oh, I could have just gone in this other way this whole time. Not great. So those are my issues. Is the inconsistency, performance, and that kind of stuff. But when this game is running well, it is a great time. It is very Indiana Jonesy. It is, very much like the old original 3 movies, and nothing like the new movies. I still haven't seen the newest one. The newest one I saw was Crystal Skull. It's nothing like that, thank goodness. It's very adventure. It's so much fun. Puts you in a great mood. It's great. It's classic Indiana Jones. Love it for that. Is it the greatest game of all time? No. In the video Conlon had sent me, the presenter talks about how we're going to be talking about this game for years to come, and I don't think it's that great. I think it's a great time. I'll probably wrap up playing it and give some final thoughts next record session, but as for now, I think it's a really good game that I'll probably only play once, which is fine. It's good for what it is. I'm glad I didn't spend $60 on it or 70, whatever it comes with. I just built a computer, so it came for free with my GPU that I had ordered. So yeah, that's kind of my general thoughts on Indiana Jones. Like I said, I'll talk more about it. I'm sure Conlon will have some questions for me, and we can add on to that discussion. But those are my general thoughts. My next topic is Bad Teacher. This is a movie that is not my thing at all. Traditionally, I would not watch something called Bad Teacher. But the scene at the lunch or whatever where Cameron Diaz gives the bra to the kid kept popping up on my social feed, and I kind of chuckled at it, and I was like, oh, that's a funny scene. I really like it. I love Jason Segel. You guys may know, I'm a big How I Met Your Mother fan. Marshall's my favorite character. It also has Justin Timberlake in it. He's in some good stuff. Let's give this a shot. Let's try it. So I turned it on, and that is literally the only good scene in that movie. Stupid premise, stupid story, stupid characters, with a forced relationship between Cameron Diaz and Jason Segel kind of there at the end, where they both kind of feel like they're settling for each other, which is just weird, and I would not recommend this movie. Just not a good time. Watch something else. There's better stuff out there, people. Next topic, psych. I bought a new computer, as I had just mentioned not too long ago, and I have been putting it together and building it, and have had some issues, so it's literally taken me days to get it working. It's finally working, and I broke my headset. But while I was building it, I put on one of my favorite shows, Psych, because, that's what you do. You turn on a show that you've seen before while you're doing these kind of things, or at least I do. And here's my thoughts. I think that the final few seasons are very much underrated. It has a general reputation for really dying off there at the end, and I just want to go over a couple episodes with you guys. In season 6, episode 1, you have the episode where Sean gets diplomatic immunity, and what a great episode. The very next episode, you have Late Night Gus, with everybody kind of dealing with the memory of what the heck happened last night. One of the best episodes in the entire show. Season 6, episode 6, Sean goes to a mental hospital. Another great episode. Season 7, episode 4, you're hunting for Bigfoot. A great episode. Episode 5, you have the Clue episode. In season 7, I don't know where it actually falls, but you have Psych the Musical. Great parody of Phantom of the Opera. Season 7, episode 10, Sean runs for mayor. Season 8, the first episode, you have the final appearance of Pierre Despero. And Sean, it's the parody of The Italian Job. Episode 3, they parody themselves in the court case. And episode 6, you have the gangster parody, where they're playing the different characters back in time and playing that angle. So overall, I think the repetitiveness of the show got old, mixed with some bad episodes like the one about Gus dreaming and, zombies show up and all that kind of weird stuff. And that was just kind of like a weird episode. It got kind of a bad rap for its final few seasons, but I actually think that while there are some bad episodes in the final seasons, for sure true, there's some great episodes as well, and I just think that it's super underrated. I'm continuing on. I'm gonna watch Psych the movie 2, and Psych the movie 3. I don't have high expectations for these. I do think they're all gonna be pretty bad, but I'm gonna do it anyway, and I'm gonna have a good time doing it because it's Psych. And I've seen Psych the movie once before, so I'm going to rewatch it. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. And I'm going to watch Psych the movie 2 and 3. I haven't seen those yet. So that'll come to you next time, probably, maybe the time after that, depending on when things fall. We may have a record with Conlin later in the week, so you may get 2 episodes this week. But yeah. And then my final topic is playing some more Star Citizen on my new PC is a great time. I didn't have any problem setting up things to run smoothly. It's run better for me than it ever has before. I also have the best PC that I've ever had before. I have a friend that has been listening to this podcast and has decided to give Star Citizen a try based on my love for it, I guess, my passion for it. So we got in and we were playing together, and we went to go do one of the rescue cargo missions that are going on right now, and it was bugged. It was bugged to crap. I couldn't get a max lift gun. Bought like 20 of them. It took my money, but I didn't get. None of them showed up in my inventory, so I couldn't actually get one to like help. So what ended up happening is we finally met up in the same place. We got on the same ship. She did the classic Star Citizen mistake of going out into space without a helmet on, so she had the joy of learning what it's like to die. I got to make the joke that, hey, I know you're an art major, but people can't live out in space. There's no oxygen. So that was a good time. Anyway, we got into the same place finally, got into the same ship, went out, flew out, and because it was bugged and I didn't get a gun, but she could, she was able to unload and load the cargo onto my ship. And I got to sit there and make fun of her for her poor organizational skills, which to me was a lot of fun. And an extra enemy had not been killed or came and showed up. I don't know what happened. But anyway, so I had the joy of rushing into my ship, and we were using the constellation Andromeda, and it has a second little fighter ship that was attached to it that I never get to use. Because normally I'm just playing by myself, or when I'm playing with other people, they have better ships that we use. So I got to run over to my ship, get into it, get into my little fighter, detach it, and go and do a little dogfight with this one other ship that happened to show up while she was loading and unloading and reloading 3 or 4 times to get all of the cargo to fit in my cargo bay. Rejoined up with the ship, got everything organized, got onto the ship, flew to the delivery point, tried to land, glitched through the ground. Anyway, we didn't even end up completing this mission, but for me, it was a great time. I think she had a good time doing it too. Even when this game is buggy, it's still so much fun. And I hope she got the experience that I have been talking about, where we're talking about it feels like you're actually a part of the crew. You're doing these different things, right? You're not just a turret person. You're not just a pilot. You get to do kind of a bunch of different stuff. Like you're this makeshift crew going out into space. And you don't just have like one job. So, had a great time with it. Hope to keep playing it more. Hope she's still interested and wants to play more. But that's it. That's all I really have for you guys this episode. I bought a PC, bought all the parts, built it myself, so that took up a lot of my time. So a lot of my time was watching Psych. So I unfortunately don't have anything more for you guys. Thanks anybody who's listening. Looks like I'm going to be ending right at about the 30-minute mark, so hopefully this is just a good, sweet, short episode for you guys. Like I said, Conlon might be feeling better within the next few days, so you might get a bonus episode. If not, I will see you guys, sort of, next week. Thanks. Bye. Like, subscribe. Send us some reviews. Really appreciate any of that kind of stuff.